I'd like to call the budget hearing to order. Please join me in the council prayer. Dear God, today as this session opens, we pray that your presence will be before us and everyone who serves in the decision-making process of our city. We pray for direction which will lead our city to be strong and unified. May we continue the legacy of our founders. May we be granted this day the wisdom to make decisions which will be for the good of our city. We also pray for your special blessing on all those who are working to transform our city and make it a better place to live and work. Amen. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Oh, sorry. Pledge allegiance
Pledge
to the
allegiance to the flag
United
of the United
States
States
of
of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilor Caulfield.
Here.
Councilor Dakota.
Here.
Councilor Elliott.
Here.
Councilor Martin.
Here.
Councilor Mendonça. Councilor Murcia.
Here.
Mayor Milanazzo.
Here.
Councilor Murphy.
Here.
Councilor Broderick.
Here.
8 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. At this point, I'll read the public announcement. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 32, the Lowell City Council will hold public hearings for the consideration of the city manager's proposed fiscal 2012 City of Lowell budget. In accordance with City Council Rule Number 26A, a public hearing on the annual budget is being held as previously stated at this budget hearing. Citizens and employees of the city shall have the opportunity to speak for not more than 5 minutes at the commencement of the hearing, or on the entire budget, or on any specific items therein. In addition, or in the alternative, said citizens and employees shall have the opportunity to speak prior to the consideration by the City Council of the particular portion of the budget concerning one or more of the various departments, but each person shall speak not more than 5 minutes and for not more than 3 minutes each time. Individual speakers shall not be permitted to assign their allotted time to another individual. That being said, I'll turn the microphone over to Manager Lynch.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Actually, with regards to a presentation, I think I'll just fall back on the presentation that I made to the City Council last Thursday evening. And at this point, I know that City Council has had an opportunity to review the budget. I'm sure they've had an opportunity to formulate some questions, and we're here to, as the CFO and City Manager, we're certainly here to take whatever questions you might have. We also have all of the department heads represented as well that are ready to address any department-specific questions you might have. By way of just sort of a editorial comment, I guess I would say that the budget that you have before you, I think, carries on the what we've been attempting to achieve over the last several years with regards to the budgets. We've certainly experienced a tremendous cut in local aid. We have limited the tax increases that we've placed upon the residents of the city. As I think I pointed out last week, over the last 4 years, the total taxation within the city, including the new growth, represents a 22% increase, which isn't something that we're happy about, but it certainly beats the 33% increase that had been in the prior 4 years. We've done it without utilizing any free cash, which had been the practice prior to that. And it's been done, as I said, in light of some very serious local aid cuts. In terms of total spending, obviously we've lived by, as Councilor Mercier asked last week, how we formulate the budget. We do it based upon the availability of revenue. We don't do it on the money that we want to spend. We live within the means that we set forth. And if you look at it, the only real increases that we've seen over the last 4 years has really been in the area of the enterprise funds, water, wastewater, and parking. And that's largely attributable to capital projects that were approved in fiscal years 2004 and onwards. A good chunk of that, obviously, in wastewater was the CSO project. A good chunk of it in the parking was the early garage. We've seen increases certainly in health insurance, but hopefully we'll be able to stop bringing that under control. But other than that, we've seen very, very minor. In fact, as I pointed out last week, if you go across the various departments, we've seen decreases in all of the departments. So again, we sit with you tonight, ready to address any of your questions and issues that you might have.
Thank you. Before I recognize my colleagues, is there anyone in the audience that would like to be heard during this public hearing at this particular time? Name and address, please.
Mayor Melanazzo, members of the Lowell City Council, Mr. Manager, staff, ladies and gentlemen. For the record, my name is Mark Goldman, 58 Oakland Street, Lowell, Mass. And I wish to speak in favor of this budget. It's a very lean budget, and it's a budget that will serve the city well with all the departments. And I urge the City Council to approve it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Goldman. Anyone else? No. Councilor Rita Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the city manager. Sometime last week, I privately asked the manager if he could present to this council some idea as to what we would be looking at if, for example, we didn't raise taxes this year. And I asked him if he could, take some time to present that to us this evening, because I know that it's easy to say, I don't want to raise anybody's taxes. And having said that, you have to put your pen where your quote is, and so that's what I'm asking you, Mr. Manager.
Mr. Manager?
Yes, Councilor, you did ask me for that analysis, and we, obviously it's very difficult to give with any great specifics of exactly what we would cut. That's obviously very dangerous to go out and say we'd cut this person or that position. It puts people sort of on the firing line when they may not need to be. But I did, Mr. Moses and I talked about this, and I asked him to develop a scenario of what we would do if we were to, if the City Council were to make the decision of no tax increase. And I've provided a memo to the Council that Mr. Moses prepared on my behalf. And if I could, you've asked me to develop the cuts needed to propose a budget with no tax increase other than new growth. The tax increase in the proposed budget is $2.6 million. I assume that if we cut personnel, we would need to add 50% to this number to pay for unemployment, bringing the reduction needed to $3.9 million. I assume that you want to avoid cuts in the schools, police, fire, health, which provides school nurses, and DPW, which has already been reduced as far as it can go. If I just may, certainly in terms of schools, we are under requirements for certain net school spending requirements. We've just met that in the last couple of years, and we believe we will meet it again in fiscal year 12 with the budget we have, but we won't be substantially above that net school spending figure. Obviously, there's been quite a bit of talk about increasing our police presence and keeping our fire companies open. The health, the bulk of that money does go to school nurses, and we know that the issue of school nurses has already sort of been brought up at prior meetings. At DPW, which has really taken a tremendous cut over the last 3 or 4 years, losing between 25 and 30% of its personnel. So then it goes on. The attached schedule show the amount of cuts needed. You would need to cut nearly 40% of all remaining departments. Alternatively, you could keep some departments intact and completely eliminate 40% of the departments. We've excluded statutory positions, the ones that by law we have to have. We have to have a city clerk. We have to have a city auditor. We have to have a treasurer. We have to have an assessor, and so on and so on. You have to have a city manager, but some of you may think differently. Not just you, some other people too might too. We've also excluded telephones and postage from the analysis because Lowell would need these items even with a drastically reduced budget. And then we just go on. Accomplishing these cuts would cripple the city no matter what the cuts actually occurred, as all of these departments provide essential services. Also, we would need to double or even triple the size of our HR department to handle all of the claims related to the layoffs. So that would include the unemployment, the health insurance, the COBRA benefits, and so on. And then there's a spreadsheet in the back, basically, that just details out that if we needed to cut $3.9 million, if you take all of the other departments, and even some of these would be challenging. For instance, library, if we cut the library, we would essentially cut off all of our citizens from not only our own library would be cut back, but they would be restricted from utilizing area libraries in the interlibrary loan program. But we detail out that of the other departments, we're talking $7.9 million. So to cut $3.9 million out of that 7.9 is a substantial reduction.
Which would be like one in every 5 employees?
It would come to probably about that.
Two out of every 5.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council Caulfield.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I do suggest that we go through the budget department by department, and to be, in all fairness, take the Greater Lowell Regional Technical School first, along with the Lowell Public Schools, and then from there, we move on to page 1 of the budget and proceed. I just want to let it be known that on July 13th, there was a public hearing deleting, abolishing, and amending the compensation of employees, all consistent with the fiscal 2011 city budget. I did not support that, neither did Councilor Elliott. And I just want to let that be known. And there are some salaries throughout the budget that I'm going to question. Okay?
Want that in the form of a motion then to move
Yes.
forward department by department and take the Greater Lowell Vocational School as well as the Lowell School Department up first. Councilor Mendonça, second. Second by Councilor Mendonça. Any further discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Counselor Caulfield,
Yes.
Counselor Dakota.
Yes.
Counselor Elliott,
Yes.
Counselor Martin,
Yes.
Counselor Mendonça,
Yes.
Counselor Mercia.
Yes.
Mayor Milonazo.
Yes.
Counselor Murphy,
Yes.
Counselor Broderick,
Yes.
9 yeas.
Beginning then with the Greater Lowell School. Mr. Manager, what page will we find that on?
It's on page 144.
Thank you, Councilor. It is on page 144, and the FY12 manager's recommendation is $5,671,914. What's the wish of the...
Move for approval.
Move for approval by Councilor Caulfield, seconded by Councilor Mercia. Any discussion? Councilor Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know the Greater Lowell Technical High School in the past few years, at least most of the years I've been here, has requested the minimum amount, or they've only charged the city for, they don't look for extra above and beyond what we're required by state law to appropriate. And I believe that's the case this year. We did get a letter from the school some months ago. So if that's not the case, I'd like to know that, but I know it is the case. And so I just want to say that we do appreciate the efforts of the school committee and administration at that school to live within the means that state law requires. It's challenging times for them as well, and so it's not unnoticed what they do.
Thank you.
This,
Councilor Mercia.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. This figure is comprised by a formula anyway, so it's not like they said, well, let's add this and do that and put that in there. It's according to that formula, so thank you.
Thank you. Just by way of public disclosure, I have a sister who's an employee out at the vocational school. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Caulfield.
Yes.
Counselor Dakota.
Yes.
Counselor Elliott,
Yes.
Counselor Martin,
Yes.
Counselor Mendonça,
Yes.
Counselor Mercia.
Yes.
Mayor Milonazo.
Yes.
Counselor Murphy,
Yes.
Counselor Broderick,
Yes.
9 yeas.
Thank you. Moving on to the Lowell School Department. Again, it's on page 144. The total budget amount is $138,289,619, of which locally funded is $10,958,989. Chapter 70 is $121,658,716. Again, for that total of 132,617,705. 132,617,705. Councilor Caulfield.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the manager. Mr. Manager, I noticed that in the budget for the Lowell School Department in fiscal year 2011, The city's contribution was $15,633,989. But now, we're going to be picking up the energy costs. So that's why that figure is $10,958,989. So we're picking up the energy cost to supplement the budget, so.
Right, we actually did the transfer back in fiscal year 11. We did the same thing in fiscal year 11, but it was actually a vote of the city council. This way it's carried forward in the budget, though, yes.
Any further discussion? Have a motion?
Move approval.
Move approval by Council Mercia, seconded by Council Mendoza. Roll call?
Counselor Caulfield.
Yes.
Counselor Dakota.
Yes.
Counselor Elliott.
Yes.
Counselor Martin. Counselor Mendoza.
Yes.
Counselor Mercia.
Yes.
Mayor Milonazo.
Yes.
Counselor Murphy.
Yes.
Counselor Broderick.
Yes.
8 yeas, 1 absent.
Thank you. Moving back to the budget and going to the first line item, which is the city council. Anybody have any questions, comments? Councilor Elliott?
Mayor, thank you. I wanted to, we had just gotten this, I was just actually reviewing the document that the manager spoke to earlier regarding apparently a question from Councilor Mercia privately, and I'm glad I got it, but it was just on our desk, and I wanted to speak to it a little bit. First of all, it would have been nice to get this earlier rather than on our desk, so we would all be prepared for it. But I understand the point that if we try to reduce spending, then there's going to be there'll be some effects from that. But I honestly think, considering the depth and detail that you presented to the council in this budget, I think bringing this scenario forward is really disingenuous. And as a professional manager, I would have even hesitated to do this because there are hundreds and hundreds, thousands of line items that I went through in the last 4 days, and I think there is room to cut. So it's to present this at the last minute as, quite frankly, a scare tactic, in my opinion, that we're just going to lay off employees. We're not going to look at so many other line items. It's really unfortunate because I think all of us took an awful lot of time to go through this, to look where there are some savings, and there are some savings, and I think there are some things that we can do. So I just wanted to express my opinion that this doesn't have to be the way, and I would presume if we would ever have to take another huge local aid cut as we have, this would not be the way that you would approach it. So, and I understand it was just a straw. It was, a straw-asked presentation, a hypothetical as to what would happen. But I strongly presume again that if we had to take cuts somewhere, this would not be the way that it would be handled.
Mr. Manager?
If I may respond, Councilor, I agree completely in terms of the manner in which, and I think I said that right at the outset, that it's difficult to do something like this without quite a bit more work that goes into it, because it's far more complicated. But the question that was put to me, and I think it's a good question that Councilor Mercia put forward to me, is what type of impact would no tax increase have? And we spoke over the weekend at an event, and I came in and we gave some thought to that of what the best way was to present the magnitude of the reduction necessary in a budget to take $2.6 million out. I have no doubt that we could, the councilors may say, well, let's take $100 out of this and $1,000 out of this, and that's certainly possible. I think there'll be impacts to those as well. But if you're looking at the magnitude of a $2.6 million cut, which was the question that was put to me, then I think that at this point, with a couple days to put it together, this is the best that we could come up with. But I appreciate your comments.
Any other comments, questions? We have the city council budget before us. Council Martin?
Well, if I could weigh in on that same question, because this does hold a number of departments free from any cuts, which in all likelihood would not be the case. You know, no cuts to police, no cuts to schools, no cuts to fire, health, school nurses, or DPW, which has already been drastically cut. So, you know, to the rest of the budget, you don't have a lot. So if you are holding all these departments free of any cut, then yes, you're talking about 2 out of maybe every 5 employees in the remainder of the department, but which couldn't in all likelihood happen. And so the reality is you would impact these other departments. And, you know, we don't have to look far for an example. I mean, we had in Sunday's Lowell Sun an example in another city nearby, you know, that was forced to balance its budget and did so, and laid off 40 police officers. So, you know, the reality is you have to go where the money is. The money is not in these other departments. It is in public safety, and it is in schools. And that's really where pain would be most felt, I believe. Now, maybe the manager would have a different view and present something, but you know, we see what's happened in communities that you know, have not dealt with their budgets the way we have, and it is drastic cuts in essential services, which is primarily at the local level, public safety and schools, and to a large extent DPW, which we've already done. So, you know, so yes, there are alternatives to this, and there are alternatives to this budget, but they're not something that I hear from the podium every Tuesday that people are looking for.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything else before we call for a vote on the city council budget? The dollar amount is $147,500. Motion to approve by Councilor Mendonça, seconded by Councilor Broderick. Roll call.
Councilor Caulfield?
Yes.
Councilor Dakota?
Yes.
Councilor Elliott?
Yes.
Councilor Martin?
Yes.
Councilor Mendonça?
Yes.
Councilor Mercia?
Yes.
Mayor Milanazzo?
Yes.
Councilor Murphy?
Yes.
Councilor Broderick?
Yes.
9 yeas.
Do we need to invoke the rule of necessity there, Madam Solicitor? Madam Solicitor, do we have to invoke the rule of necessity on that vote on the city council?
Right, well, yes, you would have to do that. You could do it by way of a motion.
Okay. A motion by Councilor Martin, seconded by Councilor Dakota, that the council invoke the rule of necessity on the last vote that we took, obviously because we're voting on our own stipends. Roll call.
Councilor Caulfield?
Yes.
Councilor Dakota?
Yes.
Councilor Elliott?
Yes.
Councilor Martin?
Yes.
Councilor Mendonça?
Yes.
Councilor Mercia?
Yes.
Mayor Milanazzo?
Yes.
Councilor Murphy?
Present.
He's the only one that could vote.
Councilor Broderick?
Yes.
8 yeas, 1 present.
Thank you. Councilor Elliott.
So, Mayor, is there a reason why there's $15,000 in for, am I in the right line item? We did the city council?
Excuse me?
And just make sure. That's okay. I'll hold my question. We did the mayor's.
Thank you. Moving on to the mayor's office. The FY 2012 recommendation from the manager is $45,708.
Move for approval.
Move for approval by Councilor Caulfield, second by Councilor Broderick. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilor Caulfield?
Yes.
Councilor Dakota?
Yes.
Councilor Elliott?
Yes.
Councilor Martin?
Yes.
Councilor Mendonça?
Yes.
Councilor Mercia?
Yes.
Mayor Milanazzo?
Yes.
Councilor Murphy?
Yes.
Councilor Broderick?
Yes.
9 yeas.
Next department is the city clerk's department. The FY12 recommendation is $314,547.
Move for approval.
Move for approval by Councilor Caulfield, second by Councilor Dakota. Any discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Caulfield.
Yes.
Counselor Dakota.
Yes.
Counselor Elliott.
Yes.
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
Counselor Mendonça.
Yes.
Counselor Mercia.
Yes.
Mayor Milonazo.
Yes.
Counselor Murphy.
Yes.
Counselor Broderick.
Yes.
9 yeas.
Next budget item is the city manager's office. The total budget request is $5,810,906. What's the wish of the council? Broken down by personnel and then expenses, and you can see under expenses, we have the school, electricity, and heating and gas in the line item this year. Councilor Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a number of questions on this, Mr. Manager. School electricity, school heating, gas. Its request is the same as allocated. What I don't see is FY10 and what FY11 approved.
The original approved budget included those in the school appropriation. It was during the middle of the year that we actually had a transfer. This is the approved budget as indicated. It's not the amended budget reflective of all the changes during the year.
So what would that number be for FY11 and FY10?
It's the same number.
So it's 2.475 for, and excuse me, 2.475 and then 2.2 million?
Yes.
Correct.
So we've seen no savings in electricity or gas?
There hasn't been any savings. Prices continue to go up, and Amoresco has not yet done their work in the schools.
Okay, and that's the reason why I asked, Mr. Moses, is we've heard on more than one occasion that we're seeing savings from the Amoresco contract. I know the lighting is part of it, but with the exception of two
Right.
budgets that I've gone through, I haven't seen any savings at all whatsoever, and whether it was fire, the health department, city hall, other municipal buildings, where are those savings coming from?
Manager Lynch?
I think, Counselor, I think we spoke to this issue at the Finance Subcommittee, which you chair, that the savings on the Amoresco project are not really being seen in fiscal year 11. We anticipate that we'll see them in fiscal year 12, but it's difficult at this point to project those out with any absolute certainty given the rising cost, but also the roll-in or the phase-in of these improvements. None of the work has taken place at the schools, as I think we explained at the Finance, as I know we explained at the Finance Subcommittee, because all the schools are in session, and we can't go in and do the work until this summer. So that's what they're doing that. The only savings that we've really highlighted, and I believe I highlighted in my presentation last week, was that we would see savings this year in the, we know we're going to see savings right off in the telephone service at City Hall or in city operations as a result of the Amoresco project. That's in the process of being implemented now. We know what the cost is. We know we were able to terminate the Centrex system service at this time. But school electricity and school heating gas, at this point, we're comfortable level funding those because we know there's going to be savings even though costs are going up on a per unit basis because the Amoresco project will be implemented this summer and this fall.
Yes, I do remember that, Mr. Manager, just in the 154 on phones. I guess it was my expectation, knowing that how much money that we spent, that we were going to see something in 2012. But thank you for the explanation. I mean, that's why I'm asking.
At the same time, the debt service for the Amoresco project really doesn't kick in until fiscal year 2013 anyway.
Okay. Conferences, seminars, education, is that the 7,500 you referenced as part of job training, or did I see that in human services?
The conferences, seminars, and education, the $7,500 number is the professional development that I think I spoke to this as well, that
Right.
was a motion that you and Councilor Dakota had asked that we
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, Mr. Manager, thank you. And I had a question under contracted services. It went from 90,000 to 105. Could you explain, first of all, what is covered under contract services for 90,000, well, 90,000 FY 12 to 105 now?
The contracted services is for the telecommunications, LTC, for the coverage of municipal meetings. We've added, obviously, the subcommittee meetings. We've also added the some of the land use boards. We had the ZBA, it's been for a while, but also now we're doing the Conservation Commission and Planning Board, licensing, so.
Okay.
With all due respect, Council Elliott, that's actually not before us right now. We're actually looking at the $5,810,000.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Murphy, then Councilor Caulfield.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the issue of the Amoresco contract, we're not yet in the phase, really, of guaranteed savings, right? That doesn't kick in until the energy conservation measures have been completed, according to the contract.
That's correct.
But I do think that in future years, as that does kick in, that we do include that, you know, the relationship of the debt service to the savings each year. It's certainly in the fiscal forecast, as well as you know, the debt service as a link to the capital budget.
That is our intention.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Caulfield.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe Councilor Elliott asked about professional services.
Correct.
Okay. I don't have a problem with the wages and salary in the budget. I didn't support the manager's contract, but I don't have a problem what I see before me. I went through the budget, cross-referenced last year, this year, and deducted the $500 that people are receiving for the medical abatement. And I'm looking at...
Excuse me, Councilor Caulfield. He asked for contracted services, not professional services. I stand corrected.
Professional services.
Contracted services. His question was contracted services, not professional.
In the line item, I see professional
That's-
services.
That's correct,
15.
and that's before us now, the 15,000. If you
Right.
go to the bottom of the page, Councilor Elliott was asking about LTC, contracted services. That's not before us.
I think
What's
you're speaking
before us
personnel
now?
services.
Is there something before some professional services?
No.
Well, it's in the $5,800,000.
Right.
Correct.
I see that, right.
Correct, right.
But Councilor Elliott already asked that question?
No, he asked contracted services.
Oh, what's professional services, Mr. Manager?
You want to speak to that now?
The only thing that is in the salaries in this particular department, no?
This line here,
15,000?
professional services.
I said I don't have a
Okay.
problem with the salaries.
Okay.
As far as the manager's office, those salaries are meek in comparison to someone else's.
We're getting you a breakdown of what that is included in that, Councilor. Bear with us for one moment here while we
16,
use technology.
3. I see $3,100 in pay increases. I don't have a problem with that.
Yep.
There were some people in the budget getting over $3,000 with a pay increase. That's what I have a problem with. But that's all I have to say. On the professional services, what is exactly that
Okay.
for?
We actually, we've used that quite a bit. There are charges for certain mailings. There are charges for,
Any legal?
yes, there are some legal charges having to do with Grand Manor in there. There are translator services when they're necessary for public meetings. There are certain medical charges regarding issues with personnel.
Oh, okay, but that $15,000 isn't designated to just one?
No,
No.
Okay,
No.
all right, thank you.
No, they range in size from
Right.
$84 up to, I think the
That's fine.
largest
That's-
is-
I'm satisfied.
Thank you, Counsel Garfield. Counsel Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to go back to the original point that Councilor Elliott brought up about the school electricity and school heating and gas, and I know the manager touched on this in his presentation last week, but this, I think, was actually done at the request of, or at least with the acceptance of the school department,
That's correct.
that these monies used to be budgeted in the school department budget and were paid out of the school department budget. Now, they're going to be paid out of the city budget, and so that reflects us, this is $4.6 million, so that's a reduction in the school department budget, but not a reduction in service to the school department. The city's going to now assume that cost, and I did ask Mr. Moses this question, that will still be included in our maintenance of effort credits that we are required, similar to how we treat snow removal and the like. So even though the local contribution to schools appears to be going down drastically, this is the bulk of the reason for that. Is that fair to say?
Go ahead.
It's the entire reason.
It is, okay. So, when we get in some future negotiation and people keep telling us how much we've reduced the local contribution to schools, this is something that should factor in.
Manager Lynch?
And if I may, one of the reasons we did this, the two reasons basically. One was last year when we were going through the budget with the school department, we took the position that the contracts that we negotiated for utilities was going to produce enough savings that they could live with this type of figure. They had concerns. So we said, well, we'll show you how confident we are. We'll take it, and we'll pay all your bills. We'll take the money that we budgeted for you, plus we'll take the bills. And sure enough, we were able to make that work. The other reason is that the debt service comes off of the general operating budget of the city, not out of the school department. So any savings we see with the Amoresco project, we would prefer to see on the non-school side of the budget, where the debt service is paid for as well.
Any other comments, questions on the city manager's budget? Counsel Elliott?
The leasing of equipment and service, Mr. Manager, what is that for?
That's our photocopier.
Oh, okay. Well, I know we get an explanation for professional services, but I'd like to make a motion that we reduce that line item by $10,000.
Motion by Counsel Elliott to reduce which one again, the transportation?
Professional services?
Oh, excuse me, professional services, from 15,000 down to 5,000. Do we have a second?
2,000.
I'm sorry? I thought you said 10,000.
10,000?
Do we have a second on Counsel Elliott's motion?
I would amend the motion to reduce it by 5,000, but cutting it by 10, I think is severely hurting that line item.
We have a motion that failed for the lack of a second.
Well, I'll second it.
You'll second it for discussion. Now we have a substitute motion, moving it from 10,000 down to 5,000. Do we have a second on the substitute motion? Second by Counsel Elliott. Any further discussion? Counsel Dakota?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To the city manager. Do you have a history of how much of that total amount you typically use?
We can get that for you. I know that in fiscal year 10, we used just under 14,000.
Right. We, so far this year, have spent $14,660.
Do you have any previous years in there? Can you give me 2 or 3 years back?
Yes. Previous year, the manager just gave you the figure, and then in 2009, it was $22,020.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion to reduce professional services from 15,000 to 10,000? Roll call.
Counselor Caulfield?
Yes.
Counselor Dakota?
No.
Counselor Elliott?
Yes.
Counselor Martin?
No.
Counselor Mendonça?
No.
Councilor Mercia,
No.
Mayor Milonazo,
No.
Councilor Murphy,
No.
Councilor Broderick.
No.
Motion fails, 7 yeas, 2 nays.
Any further discussion on the city manager's budget? Councilor Elliott?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to reduce out-of-state travel by $1,500, leaving $500 in the account. Is there any plan for this, Mr. Manager, or is it just whenever things come up?
My contract provides for attendance at the International City Management Association, which will be in Milwaukee this year.
Okay, so what is, that's in-state travel reimbursement, and then is transportation reimbursement and seminar, is that for the MMA?
Generally, yes.
Okay.
Councilor Caulfield?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just have one last
We had no
question.
second on that motion, so that dies for lack of a second. Councilor Caulfield?
Special events, $50,000, and,
We're not there yet.
what's that?
We're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
We'll be there in just a
All right.
bit. Any further discussion? Councilor Murphy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the marketing development portion of the manager's budget?
Not before us yet.
Okay.
Right now, we're at the $5,810,906.
Sure.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Councilor Martin, second by Councilor Dakota. Roll call.
Councilor Caulfield.
Yes.
Councilor Dakota.
Yes.
Councilor Elliott,
No.
Councilor Martin,
Yes.
Councilor Mendonça,
Yes.
Councilor Mercia,
Yes.
Mayor Milonazo.
Yes.
Councilor Murphy,
Yes.
Councilor Broderick,
Yes.
8 yeas, 1 nay.
Moving on to the Lowell School System Medicaid reimbursement expense, $66,300. Anybody have any questions, comments?
Move approval.
Move approval by Councilor Elliott, seconded by Councilor Mendonça. Question?
Manager, since this is here as an expense, I assume that this is money we transfer to the school department, is this true?
No, this is,
Actually, it's not. We pay a consultant to seek reimbursement from the Medicaid program as revenue to the city. We have about $1 million come in, and we pay them 6.25%. So that's
So this is to pay the consultant? Thank
Yes.
you.
Any further discussion on that line item? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilor Caulfield,
Yes.
Councilor Dakota.
Yes.
Councilor Elliott,
Yes.
Councilor Martin,
Yes.
Councilor Mendonça,
Yes.
Councilor Mercia.
Yes.
Mayor Milonazo.
Yes.
Councilor Murphy,
Yes.
Councilor Broderick,
Yes.
9 yeas.
Moving on to the marketing development line item, total budget is $650,000. The chair recognizes Councilor Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Earlier this year, I had a motion regarding the single-source marketing contract. Could you give us a status, through you, Mr. Mayor, to the manager of that contract?
the sense,
It-
excuse me, my ears don't
Yeah,
seem to
it's
be working
okay.
well tonight.
The status of that contract?
The status of that contract has essentially expired, and it's our intention, actually, within the marketing budget that you see here, to utilize single source only for some limited radio spots that we may do in conjunction with some of the downtown businesses. That amounts to, I believe, about $30,000 that we're thinking for that. Instead, we're transferring the monies that we otherwise would have been spending for single source. And obviously, there'll still be some ads that we buy. We won't be buying them through single source. We'll be buying them ourselves. We'll be doing our own, mostly of our own design, using our own staff. And then we're also going to be adding to our social media presence with contracted services, staff services that will actually provide that instead of the more traditional advertising.
So the difference will be made up mostly in new staff, or?
I guess that would be the best way to put that, in terms of a staff person that will run through the cool operation to provide us with the social media presence.
Okay. Just to discuss a few of the performance measures within that department. One of the things that I thought would really be more cost-effective is to look at pitching more and more stories to actual news organizations, because it has a, well, some of them have more credibility than, say, an advertisement, where, you know, you could have an advertisement completely undermined by a story that directly follows that. In this year's budget, it's expected, I guess, to move from 13 to somewhere between 14 and 17. I wonder how the 13 articles are broken down. In what media would you find those 13?
The chair recognizes our cultural director.
Hi, thank you, Counselor, for the question. I think we haven't I targeted that number specifically. I think we really want to make sure that we support our economic development efforts as strongly as we can with the city. You know, there's a lot of important developments coming online with the Hamilton Canal District this year, particularly with the Appleton Mills launch in the next this next month. And so I think we're also looking at seeing what we can do in terms of ramping up our PR efforts and getting that positive messaging out pretty consistently, you know, building on what we've been doing with both economic development and business-based articles, as well as, and developing more of a presence with particularly targeted sort of business publications, as well as, of course, special events and sort of positive articles about the special events and cultural offerings the city has.
And if I may, Councilor, I agree with you completely on the importance of news stories, and that's why we've actually used a public relations individual in the past to work with us on getting stories into the press. We were very successful getting some good coverage from the Globe this year on the Gateway Cities effort, very much geared towards the city of Lowell and the efforts that we have here. And we've done that from time to time when we believe there's a story out there that needs to be told.
Yeah, I think that the more that you can move away from that sort of traditional advertisement of radio ads and newspaper ads to more, I think, cost-effective placement of actual stories, right. The better. But also the placement of those stories in media organizations besides just, you know, say the Lowell Sun, right, to reach a wider audience, and so the fact that, you know, it was mentioned, business journals and that type of thing, and media organizations outside of the city of Lowell, I think that would be an improvement.
If I may, we're not counting the number of positive articles here as including the Lowell Sun.
I think they'd be pretty low anyway.
Yeah, that would be a 0.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions on the $653,000 marketing development? Councilman Mendonça?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just curious, through you to the manager, the CFO. We budgeted $650,000 this current fiscal year. It's essentially level funded. And the year before that, it looks like there was spending of $760,000. So there's already been a reduction of $110,000. I was just wondering what's going to be encumbered this year of this budget. Do you have any idea?
I believe all of that money, the $650, will be used this year.
So all of it's being used? Okay, thank you.
And if I may, just addition, I believe fiscal year 10 was already a reduction, substantial reduction over what we used to spend in 9 and 8, certainly in 8, and certainly much more than what we spent in 7. I think at one point in time, the city spent somewhere in the vicinity of $1.3 to $1.5 million in marketing. So we've cut that in half.
Thank you.
Council Caulfield, Council Marcia, then Council Elliott. Council Caulfield.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In one particular line item, the Lowell Memorial Auditorium, the manager's right, the expense there was like $650,000 a year, but because of the Board of Directors, Mill City Management, they have very efficiently ran that facility, and they bring an awful lot of dollars into the city for the economy.
And we also cut them by $80,000 two
Right.
years ago.
Right. The special events, I just want to know that if there was a special event, the Lowell Police Department, are they going to be directing traffic and so forth? And that's always been a thorn in my side. If there's a function at the Songus Arena or the Spinners, they should be paying for those details.
The people at those locations,
What's that?
those facilities, not the city.
Right.
Right.
But what's the special events for?
Ms. Dunn?
I can speak to that, Counselor. The 50,000 represents, the majority of that funding goes to support the Lowell Folk Festival. So it's costs related to city overtime, whether it's police detail, fire, DPW staff that supports the Folk Festival. The remainder, which is about $7,000 to $8,000, just supports the overtime for the details and the city department heads related to police, fire, and DPW around the City of Lights Parade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So none of this money is dedicated to Winterfest or any other issues?
No.
Mostly to the Lowell
Folk Festival and, right.
Thank you.
Councilor Rita Mercia. All set. Councilor Elliott.
Thank you. It was my understanding that the folk festival and some other events didn't cost the city anything. That's why there was a folk festival foundation. And now we're saying that it costs the city 50 for those?
Or almost 50. It actually used to be more than that. Before, in the last, I think we reduced that last year or the year before. It used to be, in prior budgets, it used to be closer to 90.
Right. It was always my understanding that the Festival Foundation raised all the money and it
That's
wasn't.
act-
And I
that's
thought we
actually
had
not
these
the case.
discussions. But, unfortunately, I know times are tough and we've had cut these back, but I think this is an area for savings, a couple of those areas. I'd like to make a motion that we reduce the marketing business development by, if we want to do some savings, here's an area by 100,000.
Motion by,
And I know it's going to affect our ability to do outreach, but if we want to make cuts, then we have to look to areas if we want to preserve jobs, if we want to, try to cut back on taxes. We have to look at areas like this. We've done it in the past, and maybe it's going to be bare bones, but here's an area to look at anyway.
we have a motion by Councilor Elliott to reduce the marketing development budget by $100,000. Do I have a second? Second by Councilor Martin. Any further discussion?
I didn't hear the
The motion is to reduce the marketing development budget by $100,000 from $650 down to $550. Councilman Donza?
Through you to the manager, the CFO. What exactly is paid by this line item?
The 650,000?
Well, we're talking about the 205,000, right? We're cutting,
Oh, is it coming out of the 205? That pays for the CVB. It pays for our, any advertising we do. It does pay for the radio spots. It will pay for the social media presence that we have this year, that we're trying to do this year. It pays for our marketing materials when we bring in people for economic development purposes. Elsie, anything I'm missing?
Yeah, it pays for things like memberships so that when there's a new business coming into town, that real estate list serves so that we know what properties are online. It pays for everything from, special event marketing to business marketing to our small business week programming. So those kinds of costs.
yeah, just to clarify, that is what we're proposing to cut,
Correct.
right? Just that one line.
I
Okay.
apologize. I went to the bottom line number, but you're correct. It's a 205,000 down to 105. Councilor Caulfield and Councilor Mercia.
Thank you. As much as I have as a conservative, and I like to cut the budget, this is the one area where you have to market the city. And I know there was a lot of lobbying going on for the CVB, which I support, the professional auditorium, which brings in millions of dollars into the city, to the restaurants and so forth. If you cut 100,000, some of these line items are going to be affected somewhere, somehow. So I don't know if I could support that.
Councilor Mercia?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Imagine running for city council and not being able to market yourself or putting an ad in the paper. I don't get it. We're talking about the CVB, and we're talking about the spin-off of that revenue that comes into the city. We're spending money to make money, and the spin-off and the restaurants, and we tell people, and bring your business to the city. Lowell has a lot to offer, and then we're cutting the very throat of what we're promoting. I know that we want to cut this budget, but not at the sake of an entity that promotes the city in so many valuable ways. I can't support that.
Thank you. Councilor Murphy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To Councilor Mercia's point, I don't have to imagine it. I think there are ways of doing things more cheaply, but I think that the degree to the cut of $100,000 would be counterproductive. I don't agree with keeping single source marketing. I don't think they've been effective for us, and I think that's showed in a number of different ways. One of the things that I had raised before was a contest, and that was actually brought forward. It was a story contest for the 175th anniversary, and but they didn't share all the stories, which was the point of the contest. You tap into the people that do have talent here in the community, and you can do it more cheaply. By having that contest, you would be tapping into a number of different people. You sort of swamp the presence with a number of positive stories in a way that is more effective than just singling out one. So I think that you can find some savings here in this budget, but not at the cut of $100,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mendoza?
Since a specific entity was brought up, how much are we planning to spend on single source marketing?
It's approximately $30,000, and that's the, excuse me, that's more, it's not so much a contract with single source as much as buying some radio time, again, with the downtown businesses. We've used the River 92.9, 5. To do some of these ads, and we've had some good feedback from the businesses in the city that have worked with us on joint marketing efforts. So to Councilor Murphy's point, that's what the use of single source will be. We don't have the expertise to do that. We will not be using them for things like contests or any of our ads or public relations. They'll simply be limited to the radio spots.
Thank you. Councilor Elliott?
Well, it's not my desire to, I think Ms. Nunn does a wonderful job. But when we want to try to cut back on spending in areas that won't mean jobs, this is where I looked for one area. Is it my desire? Is it the best thing? No, but if we want to make an impact on taxes, then this is an area. My understanding is that CVB will be funded. Is that right, Mr. Manager? 25,000. Is that part of this?
Within
205?
Within this 205, yes.
Okay. So it's an area. Can we do more with less? We seem to hear that from the manager and Councilor Murphy, and I know there was a reference to Councilor Murphy, or you have to market yourself as a city council. I mean, Councilor Murphy didn't spend very much money at all whatsoever. So it's a motion that was put forward, and it's not personal. I've explained myself. Thank you.
Councilor Broderick?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any cut we make tonight is going to be difficult. I'm not going to support this particular one, because I think one of the difficulties we have is we have cut it since I've been on here. I was the chair of the marketing subcommittee, and we have reduced it most recently from 315 down to 205. You know, more cuts. I mean, at a time when we're looking for growth, we want to cut back on our tax increases, as everybody I think in here wants to do, and maybe have no tax increases. Then we're going to need to rely on new growth, and we need to do that. We need to promote our city. We need to promote businesses. We need to promote our education, and we're going to have to be counter some of the negatives that come out in the image. There's a story a day or two ago about the image issue with young professionals in the city. So there's a lot of work to be done. Can it be done better and less expensively over time? I think we can make moves towards social media, and we can, you know, but these are small pieces here that add up to $205,000. You won't find a business in this country with a $318 million budget that spends $205,000 in advertising and marketing. It's successful. You know, and I understand we're not a private business, we're not a for-profit, but we want to promote, we want to draw business in, we want to bring residents in, and we've got a Hamilton Canal project that's on track. We need to let people know that if we're going to recruit business and residents, the kind we want, and the type of residents that we want, then in development we want, then this is critical. I understand the need to be lean and to make cuts where we can, but I think this will have a long-term negative impact that's going to greatly outweigh the $100,000. And I think we'll hear about it from the downtown businesses alone that we give this assistance to. This is partnering up in a sense of community partnership and public-private partnership that the city is known for. So I think that the CVB alone, I know there was discussion with that, you know, and I think that it would be a tremendous disservice to the city as a whole if we make this kind of drastic cut. Thank you.
Councilor Dakota.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to speak to Councilor Murphy's point. It is critical that we develop a social media program, have it strong and coherent for the younger generation, but many of the people that we are attracting to the city are older and also respond well to traditional media, so a nice balance there is important. To Councilor Broderick's point, I agree, we invest in events and programming, we invest with the Lowell plan to help attract businesses, and if we are not able to then support those programs with marketing to bring people into those events, then the event money is a waste of money. So I don't support this, although, you know, maybe a smaller number that is off the bottom line and not off that business marketing line item might make sense, but to cut that essentially 50% does not seem like the right move for this particular line item. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a motion before us to decrease the business marketing development CVB line item from $205,000 down to $105,000. Roll call.
Councilor Caulfield.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, repeat that?
The motion is to reduce the business marketing development CVB line item from $205,000 down to $105,000.
No.
Councilor Dakota.
No.
Councilor Elliott.
Yes.
Councilor Martin.
Yes.
Councilor Mendonça.
No.
Councilor Mercia.
No.
Mayor Milanazzo.
No.
Councilor Murphy.
Yes.
Councilor Broderick.
No.
Motion is defeated.
Motion is defeated. We still have before us the marketing development budget for $650,000. What's the wish of the council? Councilor Elliott?
Mayor, can I go back to the question I asked before? And I know Ms. Nunn spoke to it, but for special events, it's all overtime for the Lowell Folk Festival. There was a little bit of money. Can you just speak to that again?
Sure.
What is the bulk of it? Because, again, as I mentioned, it was my understanding, and I think probably all my colleagues, that all of these events paid for themselves through fundraising efforts. I know there was, you issued a report on Winterfest, so...
Right, and again, I apologize that if because this has been the case for years, well before I became city manager, that the Folk Festival used to be funded at $90,000, and we've cut it back to 50,
Right.
or less than
And-
50, actually. But
In fact, I think the city's really partnered with the Lowell Folk Festival. The Folk Festival is produced by 5 producing partners, and the city is one of the 5, along with the National Park, the Lowell Festival Foundation, a National Council for Traditional Arts, and the CVB. And so one of the things that we've talked about over time is how to keep the city's costs down to as low as we can. And the Folk Festival Foundation has also acknowledged that the city's contribution is vital. So about $43,000 to $47,000 of that line item is really for DPW, fire, police, all of the services related to the city workers and their overtime that goes into preparing for the Folk Festival, which, you know, is several weeks out in the planning and then also very hands-on, of course, that week. In addition, you know, the remainder of that, which is about $3,000 to $7,000, is just for the city overtime related to the City of Lights Parade. That the special events line item used to be $100,000, so it's been cut down to $50,000 in the last 3 years.
Okay. Thank you. Knowing that, I know the answer, and I know they're struggling to get by, but I think here's another area where I know it's going to be painful. I know it's going to be troubling. It may not be popular, but I think we can look at reducing this line item as well. Not because I don't support any of the festivals, not because I don't think there are wonderful attractions. Those, the Lowell Folk Festival in itself is a perfect marketing tool that I hear all the time from many folks who I work with in Boston and surrounding areas. But I think here's another area that we could try to reduce it by half, by 25%, and generate some more savings. So I'd like to make that in the form of a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilor Elliott to cut the special events budget by $25,000, reducing it from $50,000 down to $25,000.
Mr. Mayor, I didn't quite hear that.
The motion is to reduce the special events budget from $50,000 to $25,000. Do we have a second?
Just one question.
Motion dies for lack of a second.
On the motion, the special events of $50,000, isn't that dedicated, most of it, to the Folk Festival?
Yes,
correct.
So, I mean,
and it's the 25th anniversary this year, by the way.
and I want to reiterate that years ago, that line item was $90,000. So, and there's an awful lot of people, when I was the mayor, attended many fundraising functions to raise the money to make sure the Folk Festival was still intact. So, you know, I'm going to be looking to make cuts in this budget, but I'm going to pick and choose what I decide to address. So.
Any further discussion on the marketing and development budget item at $650,000? Motion to approve by Councilor Mercia, seconded by Councilor Broderick. Roll call.
Can I make a comment, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, sorry,
On
Councilor
motion?
Martin.
Yeah, I'm going to support this. I know I voted for the cut in the marketing, but I think overall, these other things are very concrete. The work the auditorium does, the cool office, the special events money, the MRT. And so I think part of the reason I support the money for the cut, because I think these folks do a good job marketing, promoting the city in and of themselves. And I think it is a valuable thing to fund. So even though it came up short on that motion, I think this is a worthwhile effort and plan to support the bottom line figure.
Thank you. Councilor Elliott?
Yeah, I mean, similar to Councilor Martin, I proposed motions that didn't fail, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to vote against these.
Thank you. Roll call on the motion.
Councilor Caulfield,
The motion to accept
$650,000.
$650,000, yes.
Councilor Dakota.
Yes.
Councilor Elliott.
Yes.
Councilor Martin.
Yes.
Councilor Mendonça.
Yes.
Councilor Mercia.
Yes.
Mayor Milanazzo.
Yes.
Councilor Murphy.
Yes.
Councilor Broderick.
Yes.
9 yeas.
The next line item, manager's contingency account. The recommendation is for $330,000 for FY12.
Move for approval.
Move for approval by Councilor Caulfield. There's a second by Councilor Martin. Any discussion, Councilor Elliott?
So it was just 3, right?
This was an area that, again, we look at FY010, and there was only 8,000 spent. I will make a motion to reduce that down to 30,000, considering, here's an area that and I know this is your fund, Mr. Manager, and I know what the answer is in the event of an emergency, and then an emergency will arise, but here's 300,000 that we can truly save. And I know you're going to say, well, what happens if an emergency surfaces? I would reflect, I would look at the reserves, particularly the 4.2 in the Chapter 70 account, which is specifically for emergencies of this nature. So I'd like to make a substitute amendment to reduce that line item by 300,000.
So reduce the line item by 300,000 to 30,000. Motion by...
It looks like it was only 8,500 used and 8,650 in FY10.
Right. Is there a second on the motion? Motion dies for lack of a second.
I just want to speak on the motion.
Councilor Caulfield?
There is no motion.
There is no
Right,
motion.
no, I know
Right.
there's no motion, but I want to speak on this issue.
Well,
During the Jimmy Campbell administration, we had a serious issue at the Daily School.
There's nothing before us, Councilor Caulfield.
Okay.
Well,
If we have a motion to approve the contingency, you can certainly speak at that time. Do you want to make a motion to approve the contingency line item?
Yeah, I did.
You already did.
I was going to speak in support. But if you don't want my
Second.
support, that's fine.
Second.
Second. I was told there was no motion in front of us. I was just following Robert's rules. You have the floor. Correct. Correct.
I don't think Robert's rules are really carried out a lot of these meetings. At the Jimmy Campbell administration, we had a serious situation at the Daily School, and there was an issue about cutting the contingency fund. And we're looking at a budget in the city, $319 million. And if we can't have $330,000 put aside to address emergencies or issues, shame on us. That's, you have to have something. Every family, every homeowner has a little nest egg in case something should come up, and this is what this is.
Thank you.
So I hope I didn't violate Robert's rules of
Councilor
order.
Martin?
Could we know what some of the things that this was spent on in the current year? Do you have that information?
One of the things to be cautious about in the budget is you don't often see expenses from this account. It's typically transferred into other accounts, and that's where you see the expenses. For example, we transferred out $180,000 this year to settle a police contract. That was not in the budget anywhere. We could have contractual issues come up in the upcoming year. You never know what's going to happen. This is our only contingency for any, oil leaks, disasters, leaks in a roof in a school, something that's unforeseen that we have to address.
If I may, just to elaborate a bit on Mr. Moses' comments there, the $8,000 that you see is the amount that we actually spent out of that. What we generally do is we come to the city council and we transfer out of that into other budgets. So that doesn't show up as coming out.
Any other questions on the contingency fund? Roll call.
Councilor Caulfield?
Yes.
Councilor Dakota?
Yes.
Councilor Elliott?
No.
Councilor Martin?
Yes.
Councilor Mendonça?
Yes.
Councilor Mercia?
Yes.
Mayor Milonazo?
Yes.
Councilor Murphy?
Yes.
Councilor Broderick?
Yes.
8 yeas, 1 nay.
It's a little after 6:20. Should we recess the budget hearing at this point and take a
Could
5-minute
we
recess?
just finish up the manager's portion?
Okay.
There's not that much left, right?
Yeah, 1 more.
Okay, we can do that. Moving on to the cable access. The total budget is $230,600. What's the wish of the council? Councilor Elliott?
This is all contractual, correct? I mean, with the exception of your explanation earlier, that we increased, there is an increase. Does that come out of fees, or is that that come out of the levy, the increase for the meetings?
We receive revenue from Comcast as part of the agreement, and we pay directly the schools. Some of this goes through to the regional school, and some is LTC money.
And is that total number, that 230, 600, is that the total amount of revenue that we
actually
receive?
distribute about over 500,000. Some goes directly to the schools.
So where does the balance, say, if we get 500, where does the balance of 270 go?
It all goes to the school or LTC. None of it comes to the city.
So I think that's why I'm confused. What is there a
Part
line
of
item
it
in
is
revenue?
appropriated in the school's budget.
Okay.
In the remaining, what we do is we transfer it over to the schools, and then the remaining portion that's in here is the amount that's left over from the fees that we receive. So, Counselor, to your question, this is all fee-based. It's not coming out of the general fund.
Okay, and is that on, I'll presume that's in the revenue section of the budget?
There's a revenue line item for about a little over 500,000.
Okay, so we should see the I'm confused as to where the difference is. If there's a revenue line item for 500 and there's 230 here, and this indicates that includes the VOC and the school.
That does not include,
This money is paid from that revenue. The revenue comes in, the city turns around and gives some of that revenue to the school so the school can run their cable. We appropriate some additional funds that go to the items listed on that budget, and additionally, some of the revenue offsets our network expenses because the cable television uses our network.
Okay, but I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm just trying to understand why we're getting, well, Mayor, he's saying there's a line item for revenue for 500. There's two line items here, one for 96. And I'm going to support this one, but I want to know where the difference is in that money. One for 96 and then one for 12.8.
and the schools receive about $200,000. We allocate $200,000 within their actual budget.
So that's in their budget. That's
Right.
all I wanted to know.
Right.
Thank you.
I apologize for the confusion.
That's okay. No, that's...
Council Martin?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. By council rule, I'm chairman of the Cable TV subcommittee, and by virtue of that, I serve on the LTC board, which is the beneficiary, I think, of some of these line items. So I think I need to disclose that. I have no financial interest, and I think I can vote as long as I make the disclosure.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Move approval.
Move approval by Council Elliott, seconded by Council Broderick. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Caulfield?
Yes.
Counselor Dakota?
Yes.
Counselor Elliott?
Yes.
Counselor Martin?
Yes.
Counselor Mendonça?
Yes.
Counselor Mercia?
Yes.
Mayor Milanazzo?
Yes.
Counselor Murphy?
Yes.
Counselor Broderick?
Yes.
9 yeas.
The last item under the city manager's portion of the budget is the cultural affairs and special events. The total budget request is $102,709. What's the wish of the council?
What page is that on, Mr.?
74, page
Huh?
74.
Move to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second by Council Mendonça. Any discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Caulfield?
Yes.
Counselor Dakota?
Yes.
Counselor Elliott?
Yes.
Counselor Martin?
Yes.
Counselor Mendonça?
Yes.
Counselor Mercia?
Yes.
Mayor Milanazzo?
Yes.
Counselor Murphy?
Yes.
Counselor Broderick?
Yes.
9 yeas.
Mr. Mayor, I move to recess.
Motion by Council Caulfield to recess until after the regularly scheduled meeting. Second by Council Mendonça. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed to vote. When we come back, we'll start with the finance section of the budget.